Yeah, he was found guilty.
Illuminati is a thing you need to watch out for. They want to depopulate and slave us so much more. World domination, I'll get into that later. I'm hardcore, fierce and sexy. You're just a hater. You deserve the ridicule because you're an absolute zero. I'm the keeper of the chalice, a rock and roll hero. I'm not an idiot nobody listens to, because I'm not a failure in life like you. Let's talk about Bill Gates and the mark of the beast and the orgies in the streets at the Catholic feasts and Bill and Hillary's human trafficking ring. And George Soros got the money to pay for everything. Socialism is for losers, working for the devil. Chumps that can't fight, they ain't on my level. It takes an evil one to try to debunk and doubt it, so I'd rather die than stop talking about it. Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out. Watch out for the Illuminati. Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out. Watch out for the Illuminati. Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out. Watch out for the Illuminati. Watch out for the Illuminati.
Well, as the dominant, unstoppable ruler of all hip-hop culture and underground rock and roll hero, I can attest, Lauryn Hill does not belong in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. She doesn't deserve it. She's a doofy, flamma-jamma, bedwench fraud. That's Lauryn Hill. It's your supreme ruler of hip-hop culture. You could call me Master. Master of sound quality, MC Too Tall. You're watching the MC Too Tall show. Got the Knicks hat on. Hopefully, bring us some luck. We don't want to lose both those games in the Garden. So, Game 4 tonight. But aside from that, we'll talk more about that tomorrow after the game, which, again, I'm predicting Knicks in 5. Just a little rearrangement of the order of when the one loss and the wins are. But aside from that, as I said, we're going to talk about something else. We're going to talk about Karmelo Anthony. Of course, not the basketball player, but the teen that stabbed another teen, Austin Metcalf, at a track meet. And this was a situation where there was a tent or an umbrella or something, and Karmelo Anthony was under the wrong tent or umbrella or whatever, and Austin and his brother were like, hey, you cut that out, you don't belong here, you belong in that other tent, or find some other tent, this is our tent, something like that. They were trying to direct him the right way. He got hostile. It turned into a shoving match. Karmelo Anthony pulls out a knife, stabs Austin Metcalf. Austin Metcalf dies. And people are trying to make this a racial thing because Austin Metcalf was white, Karmelo Anthony is black, and you have not so fine people on both sides of that argument. What it was a hostile teenager getting aggressive with a knife on another teenager, resulting in that teenager's death. So, I believe this person had some kind of anger issues, some kind of aggression issues, what have you, and acted out his hostilities on this kid, and it could have been anybody, in my opinion. Nonetheless, it's murder, open shut case, it's murder, unanimous decision on that. He was found guilty of murder, first degree murder, and then he was sentenced to 99 years in jail. Jail, he's going to jail. And this should not be a controversial thing. I don't know whether he regrets it or not. But regardless, there's a debt to pay to society. And according to the judge, that debt is 99 years in jail, going to jail. It should be as simple as that. Should be as simple as that. In other news, Donald Trump went off on some lady from Meet the Press, got up and left the interview because, as per usual, the press is disingenuous toward Donald Trump. And I don't hate the man. I don't agree with each and every little nook and cranny of what he does. But when you look towards the alternative, you got to understand, the one and only alternative is all that woke BS, all that nonsense. Like I said, the cultural issues. And having to walk on eggshells with how you speak to people. The risk of losing your job for calling a bearded person sir. There's probably only one person in this world with a full beard that is actually a female by some freak of nature. Yeah, and they showed pictures of her. I think she's an Indian lady or something like that. And ironically, she does not wear a burqa. But ultimately, it's this. Socialism, the they, them, theirs business, the racial injustice, the demonizing of John Cranseyans, that's the alternative to whatever Trump is doing, for better or for worse. And I will say this. The worst of Donald Trump, which I don't think we've seen, but let's go with the worst that we've seen of Donald Trump thus far. Everything that you could complain about Donald Trump, understand the best of what the left has to offer is not even as good as that. Okay? So, I'm not saying that Donald Trump is picture perfect. Nobody is. And you'd have to be a sicko and a weirdo to agree with every nook and cranny of another individual. That's why we're all exactly that, individuals. And I think we got a lock on the midterms. I don't think he's doing that bad that we'll have to take any kind of hit on the midterms. And the next president of the United States will be a Republican. And it'll be either be somebody out of Donald Trump's cabinet or the current vice president. Not necessarily Marco Rubio, but he's one of the likely choices. And I don't want to say, well, we'll see, but we have to find out as things unfold. And 2028 is a whole 2 years from now. And as a matter of fact, obviously 2 years from today, we still wouldn't be close enough to Election Day to predict the winner of the 2028 presidential election. or even what viable candidates are out there on either the Democrat or Republican side. See, I know what I'm talking about with these things. But looking at the trends, I think the people would get behind Vance. There are people that understand and know that Marco Rubio's professional, but a lot of people like that fire in J.D. Vance and the way he's a whip with answering questions and things like that. People still go for aesthetics. And I hate to say it, both Democrats and Republicans, as far as voters go, are victims of that. Or they allow themselves to fall victim of the aesthetics. Luckily, if it should be Vance, we won't be getting a bum. I believe we'd be getting somebody a little bit more professional with Rubio, but Vance ain't a bad pick either. It's not like the bait and switch we got with Barack Obama. Boy, what a bum he was. Boy, what a fraud he was. What a spinster. What a huckster. Speaking of which, Huckster Hochul has the goal to run for re-election. She has an opponent, Bruce Blakeman. Give him your vote, not the huckster. Steve Chan is running for re-election. In that case, if something ain't broke, you don't try to fix it. I would recommend re-electing Steve Chan. I would urge you to do that. Same thing with my congresswoman, that I'm proud to call my congresswoman, Nicole Maliotakis. As far as the incumbent state assemblyman goes, he's got to go. He's been sitting there under the radar, going along to get along since 1997, 98. It's time for him to go. He got elected 97, or no, I forget. No, he started 97. He got elected 96. Okay? We're talking about a guy that got in office the same year Bill Clinton got reelected to serve as president again. So, that's a long time ago. 20 years just sitting in the same office, going along to get along, swaying whichever way the party tells him to sway. And now that the Democrats have gone completely batshit crazy, he's swinging that way. He's siding with the radicals. Originally, last fall, he was side by side with Steve Chan and Nicole Maliotakis fighting against that abomination of a homeless shelter. Now all of a sudden he's gung-ho for it. Let me tell you something. Colton has an opponent. His name's John Riccatone. And there's a solid human being right there, a stand-up guy. A person that will protect the children. A person that would not do ridiculous things like push to have the words mother and father replaced from the vocabulary of educational material, where you're not allowed to say these words anymore, where if a doctor uses the words mother or father, it's his ass. Bill Colton pushed for that. Huckster Hochul signed off on that. Both of them got to go. John Riccatone for State Assembly. And let me repeat the others. Nicole Maliotakis for our representative in Washington for District 11 in New York. Steve Chan, District 17 for the state senate. And for governor, Bruce Blakeman. So there you go. There's my recap of everything. Respect God. Watch out for the Illuminati. Like, follow, share, comment, subscribe. Stay strong. Keep kicking that slang. It's your boy in the building. Hip-hop legend, recording engineer, underground rock and roll hero. Your hardcore, fierce, and sexy master of sound quality, MC Too Tall. Go Knicks! Go Knicks!